TVEC families, this is Mr. Sell, and I wanted to show you a life in the new norm here at Twin Valley Elementary Center. Show you a little bit about how back to school is going to look like for our kids as they enter our school buildings. This is the first time we left back in March. Right now, to start, I'm going to talk a little bit about arrival and dismissal. We are here at the parent pickup and drop-off area at TVEC. And you're going to notice that we have markers here for safe distancing while picking up your children at the end of the day. You'll be coming up to the door as normal. Normally we did this over by the art room, but the students will be physically distanced appropriately in the gymnasium, and you'll come up and sign your student out. Again, we just ask that to keep our students and staff safe, to keep 6 feet distance between yourself and the parent in front of you. All right, we are now at the front of the TVEC building, and this is where bus drop-off is going to take place. We're actually changing it up quite a bit this year to have 4 entrances into TVEC, 1 for each neighborhood. Top blue, top red, and bottom blue and bottom red. When the students get off the bus, we'll do it by neighborhood, socially distanced and physically distanced at 6 feet. We are going to have our top blue students enter the normal doors and go around our one-ways to the top blue neighborhood. And our top red students will enter a side door that goes directly into the top red neighborhood. A little bit later on, we'll see the bottom area where bottom blue and bottom red will enter. The buses are actually going to drop off here, the 2 top neighborhoods, and go around to the back at the LGI area to drop off for the bottom blue and bottom red. All right, Twin Valley Elementary Center, we are now inside the building, and we're going to be coming from the area at the entrance where parent drop-off students will be coming in, as well as our top blue students going down the hallway towards the cafeteria to their neighborhood. So come along with me and we'll take a trip down the hallway. Oh, and just wanted to, we have 2 of our wonderful helpers here at TVEC. Our custodians have been wonderful. Mr. Tim, Mr. Donnie, and Mr. Dave have just done so many things for us as far as putting the tables everywhere, chairs. I've had them running all over, giving them a great workout, but they've been great helpers and kind the whole time, so we really appreciate that. So thanks, guys, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so we're here in the TVEC cafeteria. Now, cafeteria, we want to make sure that we're 6 feet or even more if possible, to make sure that when students take their masks off to eat, that we're properly physically distanced. So we have the TVEC cafeteria set up for, at this time, 1 class. So come on in. You'll see that we have every table in the cafeteria out, and there's going to be 1 student per table. So I put down markers here to stay 6 feet apart as a reminder. So that'll be at their lunch spaces just to indicate where the students are sitting. So they'll all be facing in the same direction, all facing towards this way. It's going to be 1 way into the cafeteria with markers along the floor to promote physical distancing. They're going to go into the cafeteria doors here and the kitchen doors to get their food, come out, and what we're going to do is we're going to have the students come out and they're going to actually sit at the far tables first. So 1 student will come out to the far table in the back corner, the next one, so we'll do 1 row at a time and fill from back to front. That way we don't have students passing each other. They sit down here and go past with their food. Exit from the cafeteria, again, is going to be 1 way out the other side of the door towards our 1-way hallways, towards top blue and bottom blue. All right, we now move down the 1-way into the top blue neighborhood. And neighborhoods are going to be pretty much set up the same. Social distancing or physical distancing markers on the floor. Right, I actually got these stuck down. So they're about 6 feet, or actually a little more in some cases, away from each other. So when students come in, they'll be physically distanced by 6 feet, and they'll peel off to their classrooms. For example, this is Miss Lee's 3rd grade classroom, and up ahead here is Mrs. Gruen's 1st grade. 1 way then continues into the neighborhood itself, where we have it set up for a guided reading group, again, physically distanced, to have a teacher with 1 to 2, sometimes 3 students, but we're going to make sure we have the chairs all 6 feet away from each other. You can see the markers on the floor, they actually continue. and we're going to utilize our back stairs as one-way stairs down to Bottom Blue. All right, so now we're here at Bottom Blue, and I actually took you outside just to show where Bottom Blue and Bottom Red will get dropped off. Right, you get dropped off on the curb, one neighborhood at a time, and I'll show you an example of Bottom Blue. So from the LGI courtyard, they're going to come in on the sidewalk. Again, I'm going to have stickers on the sidewalk for physical distancing, and they're going to come through the side door into Bottom Blue neighborhood. All right, now if we're coming outside the LGI courtyard, Bottom Blue students will enter. Again, it's one way, coming from Top Blue down the stairs and through here, and also from entering from the buses. So Top Blue will come in, and they'll be able to go to their classrooms. Again, markers on the floor, one-way signs, and they'll be going into their class. Restwell, Miss Pond, and Cycle, and so on down the road. So they'll be able to come in, and again, when they leave their classrooms to go anywhere in the building, they're not going to be going this way. It's all going to be one-way traffic in the neighborhood. So it's going to go from Top Blue down to Bottom Blue through the LGI up the steps, and then around the library to get to the areas such as the cafeteria and gymnasium. As you're entering from Bottom Blue, this is going to be our second seating area for cafeteria to make sure that we're physically a distance appropriate. Fortunately, we have a nice large space here, so we're able to have room for 2 classes, one on each side of the LGI. In grade levels that have 4 classrooms, we'll actually be using this room, the cafeteria, and then the art room as our alternative lunch spot for our 4th classroom. All right, now for a classroom. Would you ever want to see what a classroom setup would look like? We happen to be in Dr. Burns' 1st grade classroom here in the Bottom Red neighborhood. So come on in, you can take a look to see what a classroom is going to look like, physically distanced. Right now we do have it set up with the 6 feet distance in between our desks where it's feasible. We will have a small group area for the teacher, in this case Dr. Burns, of course, to be able to work with a small group and be physically distanced with 2 to 3 students while the other students are working independently. At the same time, you're going to see that we have a computer set up here. And on this computer, we're going to be having our streaming camera. So on this computer's camera is going to be up here. And Dr. Burns, when she's in front using the Promethean board, whether reading a story, doing some things with ELA and math over here, she's also going to be on the camera here. So she will actually be able to see any of the folks that are doing the live streaming option from home right there on that computer. So it'll be kind of like the Zoom set. Also be able to project with her laptop onto the smart board using the Promethean, or using the document camera, etc. So we have it set up to make it as inclusive as possible for folks that are at home, but also for make sure we recognize our students that are face-to-face to give them the time in small groups and centers that we would normally do. All right, TVEC families, that is a tour of TVEC as we return to school in person in just a couple weeks. Hopefully you got a taste of what it'll look like and all the work that's been put in to make sure we keep our students safe and healthy, as well as for our staff. A couple of things to note as well is that just to kind of mitigate the transitions back and forth, I've tried to stagger all the transitions so there's only one class moving in the hallway at one time. Obviously, it's going to be going in a one-way direction. Additionally, music, art, and library will be on a cart going into the classroom. So that way we take care of those transitions. So the less transitions, the better. Hope that helps. You can get an idea what school looks like, and we cannot wait to see all your smiling faces. It'll be good to be back. So take care, everybody. Thank you.